from Instagram. We'd love to see you. Okay, we are going live. Oh man, I feel like I'm going to be hot in this thing.
Yeah.
Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome to the Fixes Build That Sunday Night Live show. I'm Brad.
And I'm Susan.
And Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
We are here.
Happy holidays.
What, 27th? The 27th. So hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas and got time to enjoy family and friends and all that good stuff. We stayed here.
We did.
Very COVID Christmas.
Yeah.
No travel. We actually didn't even get together with parents and family. Unfortunately, that was kind of a bummer. But it was
all right.
You know,
I mean, yeah.
We made it work.
Right. We played, what did we do? With my family and all the other nieces and nephews.
Just a bit.
Okay. We played, what was it?
Jeopardy.
Yes.
Christmas Jeopardy on the Zoom. It was fun.
Like with a board and everything. My sister hosted it. And it was really fun. Like that was fun.
It was good times. So hopefully, let us know, by the way.
Got to get creative.
So let us know what your best presents were.
Yeah.
So
what's your best present?
What
did I give you? It's like a pop quiz.
You gave me, what did you give me?
I gave you a lot of stuff.
You did give me a lot. So you gave me
did
a lot
you
of
bring
candy.
out the one? You didn't bring it out, did you?
I'm blanking.
The dad jokes.
Oh, yeah. No, I didn't. She gave me some dad jokes, a little canister of dad jokes. It was awesome.
Those were hits. We read them over the Zoom call. It was fun.
And yeah.
A weighted blanket.
And a weighted blanket. Yep. Whoa.
I feel like that might be like a gift that a lot of people got this year.
Yeah.
It was a weighted
I don't
blanket.
know. And apparently the Titans just scored. So
Yay!
Scott, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Buddy.
All these people jumping in like we're gonna lose.
So feel free to. We are big Titans fans.
I feel like we should be wearing our Titans gear right now.
I know
but
we are, but we're not watching the game right now, obviously, because we're hanging out with you guys.
We don't have our act together right now.
So whatever. Bill Niemeyer, what is up?
Hey, Bill.
Let's welcome a few folks. We got Bill Builds in the house. We got Mike. What's up? Happy New Year to you as well. Bill's Woodworking. We got Fierro from Chile. We got
Chile is always
Indonesia
representing.
in the house. I know. That's awesome.
Always.
GoPro 9. Ooh, Bill Builds. That's awesome. And Adventurous Jorge just built the miter saw build. That's
awesome.
Congrats on that. Daryl Downey from
Kentucky. Our neighbors to the north.
That's right. And Jeff Lang, what's up? Nature's Hardwoods from Salt Lake City. Merry Christmas to you as well. Mike Sweeter, been watching the YouTube, but hadn't caught the live. Glad you're here.
Welcome.
And Prusa, what's up, my man? And I got a new DeWalt planer. We got lots of good stuff out there. Dave, what's up? Oh yeah, by the way, and so we did have
the bomb.
So we are in Nashville. Just to give a little heads up on that. Obviously, we're okay. Although we were.
And we are fine.
We're fine.
We had
we're
some
fine.
inconveniences,
we're not
but
anywhere near downtown. So we had our internet was out. It was crazy. So if you haven't heard, there was a bomb that went off that was like they parked an RV on 2nd Avenue.
Mm-hmm. Really, really close, like downtown. It's like
just like straight up downtown. Like we've been
walking distance.
We've walked past that many a times.
We've parked by there a lot.
And anyway, the bomb went off, and apparently they were targeting an AT&T building, and you can go read all about it. There's all kinds of crazy stuff, but it was like 6 a.m. in the morning on Christmas Day.
Right.
And a bomb blew up, and it just like knocked out like a third of this building, and it took down like all the cell reception for AT&T and like all the internet, and we're on AT&T. And so we were without internet for a few days, living that tough life. But
no streaming anything. We had to pull out the DVDs, our case of DVD. It was like a
throwback.
I mean, it was like all these movies from the mid to late 2000s that we had. It was fun.
Had a good time.
Yeah, but no,
we had a good time.
So everything's all good. Our kids had to deal with no streaming for a couple of days.
That's right, and that was tough. We got Katie, we got Riley, we got some horrible Pack fan. We've got Elliot.
Scott's
What's
here.
up, Elliot? We got Rick in the house. Michael DeMarkey, hey, good to see you over here, Michael. Wood Butcher in the house. Andrew Strong, Matthew Bell. All right, cool. Everybody's coming on over. Dad Who Mows Best.
Dad Who Mows Best.
And Travis Blake. What's up, Blake? Brian
Wood
Farns.
Butcher.
Luther Woodworks. What's up, Josh?
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Joseph.
Thanks for joining
Flyabus. Oh yeah, Flyabus in the area.
Yep.
So this week we just enjoyed Christmas. We did not launch anything.
We did.
I have been working on some projects. Well, I guess before we jump into that.
Right.
I do want to thank some members of can you switch over for me?
I can.
That joined the Builders Club. And so we had a few folks join. We had Colin Hale, Old Samurai, Andrew John, and Eva at IBA PA. I don't know if that's Iba, Pennsylvania or what, but anyway.
Sounds like she's got, like when I read that, I think
something. I want like IPA.
I was thinking of beer, but that's just
beer of the week is in
looking
just
at
a moment, so stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
But anyway, welcome to those folks who joined the Builders
Welcome.
Club. If you're not familiar with the Builders Club, it's basically the inner circle of the Fix This Build That audience where they get access to free plans and credits in the videos, weekly updates, and early access to videos. If you're interested in that at all and interested in supporting the channel, you can go to fixthisbuildthat.com/Builders Club and check it out. And we appreciate everybody that is supporting us. So thank you so much. All right.
Yeah.
So we anyway. So I did. So this week, what I've been working on, and oh gosh, these are so heavy. Oh
My word, this is
Lord.
thick.
She's thick.
I knew he was going to say that. But they are.
They are, I know. So I've got a couple little blanks here. So this is a nice, big, thick, ingrained cutting board blank. This is about, it's about 11 by 11.
Lean over this way. The people on IG can't see it very well.
It's about 11 by 11. This is just came out of the second glue up. So this is
like solid.
ingrain, very solid. So one maple and one walnut. This one looks pretty cool. And it's kind of contrasty, but that when the oil hits it, when the finish hits it, it will actually all even out very well. Because some of that's just because of reflection of the light.
Oh.
But anyway, so I've got a big, nice, thick. These are both about 1.5 inches thick. I think the maple one's actually even thicker than that. But actually, they might be closer to 1 3/4. Yeah, this is like just a hair under 1 3/4. So these are thick. And I've got a special plan that I'm actually going to be comboing the two of these. So I am super excited about the video. It's going to be the last video of the year, or potentially the first video of next year.
You know, whatever.
It'll be
Silver
whatever.
linings.
It's
We'll be
the
like ready
last
for
video I started
2021.
for the year. And
Yes.
I am extremely excited about it. So this is not your average cutting board video.
Not your average. No.
Yeah, not your average bear. So that's what we have. That's what we have going on this week, and I'm going to be working on that early this week, and or tomorrow. We'll get back into it. Been doing some CNC work, so it does involve the CNC. And I have like a couple other boards that are over in the glue up. Oh, I did put some oil on that just to see how it would even out. But
wow,
so that's
look
how.
at that. I like that. That looks so nice.
It's going to be like super dark. And even the ones on the end, like there's an end piece that's really dark, but it just kind of evens out when you put I use mineral oil on my cutting boards.
That's cool.
And it evens it out nicely. So we'll be doing that. But why don't we?
He brought us being very cagey about this. He's like, I'm doing some things. I've got some boards. They're really thick.
Stuff and things.
Yeah. You just have to stay tuned.
You got to stay tuned.
It's going to be awesome.
Fantastic. But you know what else is fantastic?
Beer.
Beer.
Beer is
and
fantastic.
Today, for the beer of the week, we have Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. Whenever I think of pale ale, what do you think of when you say pale ale?
I think of a light-colored beer.
The kids. I don't know why I'm calling them kids. You Gen Xers out there.
All you youngins.
What comes to your mind when I say pale ale? Hopefully some other
Cheers.
people.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy early New Year.
Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. That's nice. Hand sparkled the American craft beer revolution, bold and complex with pine and citrus notes. I like pine notes, it's like a woodworking beer.
Family owned, operated, and argued over. That's what it says.
And it's a generation to the glory of hops. Pale ale is still a classic from Sierra Nevada, so go check it out.
I like it.
It is quite tasty.
It is hoppy. It's good though. I like hop.
But whenever I think of pale ale, I think
do you think of?
I think of Stifler. From
Stifler
from American Pie.
Oh my gosh!
I like the pale ale Stifler.
I forgot about that. That would be another good movie to watch. That's like an oldie but a goodie.
So check it out if you've not tried it. Sierra Nevada is a nice drinking beer here.
Yeah.
So
this is a good one. This is a very popular.
Big thanks to Lippman Brothers for providing the beer for Beer of the Week.
Thank you.
All right, head back
it's
up.
Delicious. We're enjoying it.
The pale ale Stifler. Stifler says yes. Miller Time Mike says yes. Stifler. Pickle beer. I don't know what pickle beer means. All right. What do we have going up there? Let's hear Crazy Raven Woodworking. What is up? And they're already asking. What are the plans? I know the full form of the CNC. Vivian, my CNC is 1,000 by 1,000 millimeters which is about 31 by 31 inches.
1,000 by 1,000.
Bert Bolin, what's up? I know it does. It does. Let's see. We got lots of people asking about what's up for the new year. What are the new projects for the new year? So that's a good question.
That may be a good question.
Matt, what is
for
up?
Everybody.
We got Matt from Rustic River in the house.
All
just
right.
recently got
Hey,
service
Matt.
back as well, dude. Yeah, I
Oh,
know.
man.
We were just talking about that.
It was a battle. It wasn't a battle. It just makes you realize how dependent we are on our Wi-Fi.
I know.
And so many things that we do around the house. Like I kept going, Alexa. I'm like, oh, shoot, I'm going to turn her on in here. Dang it, I
There
did.
she goes.
But I would do that, nothing would happen. Or it was like this automated response, which took her forever to say, and then it would turn off again. But yeah, I was like, I can't play.
It's all good.
I can't play music.
We're going to give a quick shout out to Ryan. Ryan, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ryan.
He's the son of a name that I couldn't see because GSR Bob. What's up, man?
Hey.
Hope you're doing well. All right, cool. So so coming up this week, or not this week, but this year. So we're definitely, I'll tell you what, we're just talking about some content for the channel because it's a great question. Coming into the new year, what are we doing? And we've been alluding for a while to some different things going on.
Things are happening.
Stuff and things. And
Right.
and we are definitely moving in a few different directions. So I'm probably going to be doing a little bit less shop. I'll say like woodworking specific, like for, I'm trying to think of a good example of one. Probably like the tapering jig. Probably won't be doing a whole ton more of those, of like the really specific
Like
jig
nuanced,
styles.
yeah.
Like stuff that's like
Very niche.
yeah, very niche in the woodworking. Definitely doing a lot more of the exploratory stuff. So I really had a lot of fun this year exploring new things, and specifically in like the puzzle boxes. So doing and the electronics. So the things that I really enjoyed the most were like, and even into last year, like the wireless charging desk, having like the LED charging station, the obviously the epoxy, the nightstand with the secret hidden drawer in it. Like really love that. Did the valet tray with the hidden drawer. So like learning how to do hidden compartments and hidden mechanisms, hidden release mechanisms has really excited me. I do have a mechanical engineering background, so I have a degree in mechanical engineering, and I did some design work early on and then kind of went into manufacturing. But anyway, like that stuff really kind of itches the spot, that mechanical spot for me. I really like that. And then the electronics, I've been doing a little bit of Arduino, as well as been doing some 3D printing. Even though I haven't done a lot on videos of 3D printing, I have used a few things, and I've done a lot more in the background that I just haven't shown you guys, just for fun. And yeah, so that's like, combine all those things together. I think that's where you're going to see a lot more this year, is just me messing around, coming up with cool ideas, and trying to just push the boundaries a little bit, and not, you probably won't see me make a coffee table, like just a coffee table. Like I did a coffie table last year.
You do a coffee table with a twist.
Right. It'll be a coffee table with like, a hidden da-da-da or something, because like I just want to challenge on those new things, and not just in the sense of the woodworking. I'm getting hot. I got to take this thing off.
Well, I'll just talk while you're doing that. That makes a lot of sense, because, I mean, I've been in Brad a long time. Woo, you're like stripping on camera.
TP for my ball.
Anyway.
All right, that's the title right there.
Keep it G-rated, yeah. No, listen. What was I saying? No, I've known you a long time, obviously, but Brad has always been very into. Brad's always been very into figuring things out, and he's the most frustrating person to play any game with, because he wins almost every single time. And I will say that for a fact, because we just got done playing 2 hours straight of just different games that we got as a family, or our kids got for Christmas. And I think you've won almost every time.
I don't take it easy on my kids.
Brad is not the dad that's like gonna. No. Well, I mean, sometimes with our daughter, because she's the youngest, so
except for my daughter. Maybe.
Yeah, if it's a little over her head, we're not gonna just like make her cry or something. But the boys, no.
I beat them down.
He tries to beat them every time.
Life lessons. You got to teach them.
But you're really good. My point is, you're really good at figuring things out.
Oh yeah.
And you enjoy doing that. So
and winning.
That whole it stresses me out that when you have those projects where you're like, I don't really know if this is gonna work. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know if it's gonna work? Or like how it's gonna work? Like there's no clear path there. Like that makes me anxious. But I know, and it's awesome. It's just we have different kinds of brains.
So that's definitely the stuff on the docket. We'll more than likely have. I mean, and there's a huge question mark, which is, where will we be? Hold on, Sorry. Is where will we be? Where will I be with the shop? And we are actively looking for different locations for various reasons. And if
we're not moving, but we want a shop location.
Right. So if that changes, then obviously that's going to change the entire direction of the channel potentially. I mean, there will be a multiple week, month series of building out any new location that we have. Right. So anyway, that's exciting stuff. True. Just a little sneak peek. What else we have here? I missed a question.
Maybe I went too far.
JD Creations, loving the ISO tunes. That's awesome, man. Misfit74, what's up, my man? Michael DeMarchi, I saw that J Katz got injured. So Jonathan Katz Moses, one of my buddies, he knocked off the end of his thumb on the joiner.
Oh no! Ooh.
So I'm hoping I haven't watched the video yet, but he looks like he's been doing good. HB Woodworks, we are using the wood conditioner. Actually, it's one of my favorite finishes. Actually, I had it out. That's what that one was on that cutting board. So that is one of my favorite finishes to top it with. See your IPA make the difference. Beer, all the beer talk. Rick, that's true. Any new sponsors for 2021, Josh? No new major sponsors, like no new long-term sponsors that we have at the moment. We do have many of our long-term sponsors continuing on that we're in discussions with, at least. We will have some that will fall off, unfortunately, and we have some. We've had some cool things step in. So we were talking about that. 2020 is really neat in the sense of
it was a very unpredictable year for everybody, but for us
some different opportunities that we had. And you may have seen my most recent one on Instagram, which was one I did with Samsung, which was awesome. They just kind of randomly reached out, and so just a little behind the scenes of how this happens is basically I just get an email. I get an email and it's like, hey, we have a campaign coming up with Samsung, and we'd love for you to come up with some holiday hacks. And like, what kind of ideas do you have? And like, that's literally how that works, or at least how that one worked. And so they said, what's a way you can use Samsung technology to...
And that one was a fast turnaround.
And that was like, oh, hey, by the way, we need this like next week. Yeah. And so it's like...
okay. But it wasn't like a huge build or anything.
Well, and the nice part about it is that when they ask for something like that, you can charge more, as you would expect, because they're asking for a super fast turnaround time. And so that's one where they just threw it out there as like, hey, can you use technology? And so they have a Galaxy Flexbook, which is a laptop. And so I did a design on it. If you've not seen it on my YouTube channel, you can check it out. My Instagram channel. I basically designed, like, I hand wrote the word joy. Actually, it's over here. I'll go grab it.
Oh yeah, we have like 5 copies of this because Brad was making a bunch of them. So, and it looks beautiful. The finished one is on our door, and it looks great. It's nice and understated and simple, but elegant and beautiful.
What was really cool, and so this is it, and I know that's back. Well, hey, watch this.
Ooh,
hey,
Instagram people.
Instagram. By the way, if you're on Instagram, come join us on YouTube.
It won't be backward.
It is Fix This Build That Live, our second channel. But for all our YouTube folks, here it is, the joy sign. And so I put a little red ribbon on there and hung it on the door. And that is my actual handwriting. So I didn't download a font. That's actually my handwriting, computer assisted.
Unlike this is probably not true, but like a lot of women have beautiful handwriting. I do not. So if I were to have done this, oh sweet goodness gracious, that would have taken me.
They'd have been like, why do you want to jog?
It would have been like a 3-year-old drew it or something, but
anyway,
this turned out great.
So my point being, we got to do some cool things, and this was one of them. This was the most recent one. That's why it's kind of on my mind. We also got to do some work with TikTok directly, as well as Pinterest. So it was really neat. That's where we're getting the kind of the new sponsors, Josh, is a lot of folks wanting to do one-off stuff. So, I don't have anything like, well, actually that's not true. There's an option for us to do another Samsung thing. So we'll see if they pick that up or not.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Good to know.
And I have a few new things like that, but no new long-term sponsors, We're still holding out for Chevy and Mountain Dew, so we'll see if they can come to the table.
Yeah. Oh, Katie wants to know, did a package arrive from her? She got.
Oh, we haven't checked the PO box in a minute.
Yeah.
Katie, we checked it last Saturday.
No, I checked it.
It's been about a week.
Yes, I think I checked it early last week. But I will go soon.
And we did get some beers
We did.
Yeah, from Rick Reeder from Panhandle Woodwork. So big shout out to Rick. Thank you,
I think
my man.
that's what
I don't know if
Katie
he's
is
on there.
implying. I think Katie sent us maybe
The marshmallows?
sent us something delicious.
If you guys ever want to send beers, we're always open to it. We'd love
So I
to
will
taste
definitely go
beers
pick it up.
from around the country,
Yeah,
around the world.
it's so fun.
So we've got a bunch of suggestions over on Instagram about
cool.
TV Entertainment Center
Take
with hidden
all
compartments. Engineers always win. Miller Time says. Second, a BDI cord. I don't know what that is.
Toby wants to know. Toby Foltz says, "Have you ever had any close calls or injuries since you started making stuff?" Have you? I would also like to know. I'm unaware of any.
I think.
I'm not sure you've had something minor, right?
I've never had any. Like I've never had any stitches. I'll go there.
Very good.
From woodworking. My main things have been like cuts or, which is like stupid random
pretty
cuts.
Pretty rare though.
It is pretty rare. Busted up fingers from like smashing my hand or like dropping a board on my hand or something stupid like that.
Yeah.
And then toes. But now I wear boots in the shop most of the times now. So
and they've got like steel toes.
Yeah. So I protect that. But no, I've been, I'll say I've been lucky because I know when people are, even when I will say like I'm very careful, but I know even when folks are very careful, you can still have an accident.
Yeah.
So I've been lucky to not have any accidents, but I am very careful in the shop and I wear safety glasses and I use all the precautions and I use my guard, which a lot of people don't because they don't think it, because it's not as good of a shot for YouTube videos. I could care less. I'm not going to sacrifice a shot for reduced safety in my videos. So.
Yep.
And nobody's ever been like, why do you, I wish you didn't have your guard on there so I could see that blade cut that wood better.
What? Michael says he just learned that his local library has a 3D printer you can use.
Oh, cool.
That's really neat.
Ours
has a telescope that doesn't work very well. That's the only thing I've ever...
Oh, do they?
Yeah, we brought the telescope home and we were like, we can't see anything.
Yeah, you can check it out and
I mean, it's a nice idea, but yeah. This was funny. When you were changing, Wood Butcher Woodworking said, I was going to get a snack. I'm not hungry anymore.
Sorry about that. A little bit of a
woolly mammoth under there.
I know. Let's see here. Keaton61 says, favorite woodworker guy by far. Well, thank you so much, my man.
That's very sweet.
I can't get past making combs for people, Bell's Woodworking. Jason Sullivan, what's up, my man? Is there looking for router bits? I always recommend to people get. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Wow. Talk about injuries in the shop.
I would get one of those variety packs, 30 or 40 pieces from Amazon, and get one of the cheaper ones, and then see which ones you use the most, and they're going to wear out kind of fast, and then you can look and get nice versions of those. So instead of I wouldn't recommend to get an expensive 30 or 40 piece set or 100, there's these crazy 90 or 70 piece sets. Those are super expensive, several $100s. I wouldn't do that. I'd buy a less expensive one that you can get for maybe 35 or 50 bucks and then use those until those dull or break or whatever and find out the ones that you use the most. And then if you already know which ones you use the most, Whiteside makes good router bits. Freud makes some pretty good router bits. Those are the two off the top of my head I can think of, Freud and Whiteside. CMT, is that a different? I can't remember. I cannot remember.
I don't know.
GSR Bob, yes, I am using the X-Carve. Made by Lane. What's up, my man? All right, what other questions we have there? Bob Ditz, what's up? In the house. Bell says, if I keep growing the beard, he's going to send me a beard comb. I'm getting wings, though. Okay.
You need a haircut.
Let's talk for a moment.
Are we going to talk real talk?
About
real hair talk or what's going on?
Mullets.
Mullets are
back.
the thing. Our nephew, who is almost 11, right?
I'm thinking.
He'll be 11 next month.
He's got a mean mullet.
He's got a mullet. He got a book for Christmas. What was it called?
I don't remember.
It was like epic mullets
Oh yeah, it was like
something.
the history of the mullet or something.
And it looked really funny. We saw it on the Zoom call.
The achy breaky mistakey.
Yeah. Ellen DeGeneres was on there from back in the day because she had sort of short hair, long hair thing going on.
Yeah, so mullets are like a thing, and I'm winging out here on the side.
You could bring it back, baby.
I think
you
COVID.
can't bring it back.
I think COVID had a lot to do with that too.
Well, yes,
because like so many people haven't gotten a haircut. Well, I haven't gotten a haircut in a long time.
Well, and I should cut it. We just haven't done it. Yeah, because right now, I don't know if it's still, as of last week, our area was like the worst place in the country for new rates of infection, or whatever you want to say. That sounds really bad, but it's pretty bad.
The state is
but like,
really
yeah,
bad.
like a county like 30 miles away is like the worst spot. So it's not that far. So we've been pretty much just staying in. And so it's really hard to be like, I need to go get a haircut, like in that climate.
Yeah.
I mean, you could,
but
and I'm sure lots of people do, but
you just
put a hat on.
It's just an additional risk. But anyway.
Yeah.
So that what were we even talking about? I don't even know what.
Achy breaky
mistakey.
That could be the
No, it's not the beard comb. Yeah, gotcha. So
yeah, mullet.
Yes, I have a few folks asking about saying I should do a collab with Maleki or asking about Made for Profit.
Oh right, somebody asked about that.
Guys, we totally dropped the ball on Made for Profit. We had the best of intentions to come back and do monthly episodes, and even that was apparently too much for us.
It gets busy.
And it's just not. It's not that we don't. So the biggest thing that I'll be like, I'm tripping over my words here. But what I want to say is that the best part about Made for Profit, other than obviously just talking to John, but I talk to John all the time anyway. But the best part is the actual audience and the community and the MFP tribe that has formed around it. And knowing that we've been able to help so many people to grow their business. So if you're not familiar, it's a podcast where it's Made for Profit, where we say we're talking business in the shop and helping people monetize as makers. And basically we teach people how to do a side hustle and make money doing woodworking. And how to convert that from a side hustle to a full-time business. So that, and we did, we've done 126, 127 something episodes, and most of those are still relevant now. So we feel really good about having put so much great content out there that people new to it can come and get it and listen and still learn. And it's basically like, just like a little business course if you want to go that way. And we would love to do more. We just have so much going on. I mean, John's got 4 employees now. We're trying to grow the business with COVID and everything, having the kids home. A lot has changed for both of us this year, and we just haven't been able to carve out the time because it's just not, in full transparency, it's not a money producer for us, and I have to focus on my business, and John has to focus on his business, and so that's really what's the big rock that we can't really figure out how to break.
Yeah. Yep.
So no, we don't have any currently planned, but at the same time, we're not ready to call it quits. So
when
it's just kind of hanging out there like a matzo ball.
Like when there have been great opportunities to put out new content. Maybe you said this, I was typing. Like when you had Schmoyer on, which was an awesome one. Like that was definitely like, okay, we need to get up and do this one, and carve out the time to do it. But I feel like you probably just said this, like you both want to be like inspired to talk about something or have it be like so pressing.
Or
that
just
really
have the time, right?
Makes sense, and to have the time.
Yeah, because there's plenty of things that we could be talking about.
That's true.
It's
there was a question on here. There were a few questions.
CHRM 421. Yes, we do YouTube full time.
Full time. What table saw blades do you recommend? AP Woodworks would like to know.
AP, what's up?
AP.
The two that I recommend, I like the Freud 50-tooth combo blade, which is a great all-purpose blade. I don't know I haven't priced it lately. It's probably about $60, I would say. So that's kind of the mid-range, definitely a little bit more expensive than the cheap, like a Diablo blade or an Avanti or DeWalt or Bosch or one of those that you can just buy at Home Depot. You can still, I don't know if you can actually buy that one at Home Depot. I don't think you can. The Freud, yeah. And then the other one that I've been using for a while now also is the Freud Premier Fusion, which is a 40-tooth blade. That one's about $100, and that one works really nicely as well. And it's I haven't compared them enough. Like I'm not a big enough connoisseur to be like, oh, here's exactly how this one is different. Why this one's better. It's like they both work great. There's a ton of great blades out there. I've used the saw stop blades. The one that they have a 40 tooth as well as an 80 tooth crosscut blade, and those both work great. I mean, there's a lot of great blades out there. So you have a lot of choices, especially in that mid-range, that kind of, let's call it 50 to 90 bucks. I think there's a lot of options in there. But I like that 50 tooth combo. That's a nice one.
Good. Wood Butcher Woodworking says mulch never really went out of style when your kid plays hockey in Wisconsin. That's great.
Oh yeah.
Our nephew plays hockey, so maybe
it's what's hot with the hockey,
it's a hockey thing,
folks.
Yeah.
Katie, is an auxiliary fence on a job site saw worth it? So when you say auxiliary fence, Katie, I'm assuming you're meaning to put on top of the fence to add different things onto. And I would say yes, especially if you are cutting anytime. So a great use for an auxiliary fence, and I don't use it very often, but when I need it, I use it, is to extend the height of your fence. And especially with a job site saw, that fence is typically pretty small. So if you're trying to, let's say you're trying to cut a cutting board, say you are wanting to make a bevel on a cutting board, and you don't want to run that against a 2-inch tall fence because there's so much tipping up here, the opportunity for a tipping point. And so you could put up an auxiliary fence that would go up, maybe 6 inches, something like that. And then now you've got half of that covered. So I would absolutely say, yes, an auxiliary fence would be a great option for a benchtop saw.
All right. It is that time of the whole night again where Susan starts freaking out about injuries. People are sharing the injuries that they have had. Yeah. And it just makes me, yes.
Get a saw stop, folks.
Well, but that wouldn't solve this problem. Nailbender says Brad nails through fingers regularly.
Regularly?
He said regularly.
It's like every.
But I'm a finished carpenter.
Oh well. Yeah.
But I'm a finished carpenter, so it's more likely that things like that will happen.
So
to me.
I was going to say that. So here's the thing about injuries: is that injuries are relative to opportunities, right? So the more you do something, the more opportunity you have for an injury, and it's just like COVID. It's like the percentage. So the numbers are much higher in California, but as a percentage, they're lower than they are here.
Right.
So in Tennessee, with the population size, it's the same thing with accidents. If you work on a saw 40 hours a week, every single week, you have even as good as you are, you have a lot more opportunity than a hobbyist. If you're a trim carpenter, you're shooting thousands of brad nails a month, if not a week, whereas a hobbyist might be shooting 100 in a month. Obviously, I've never shot one through my finger, but
he does it regularly. You better buck up, man.
Okay, now regularly, that might be a bit much. I always try to move my finger at least the length of the nail away from wherever I'm shooting it into.
And we've got other injuries here.
GSR Bob, have a good one, man. Oh, Pack scored again, 33-14.
Dang it.
Prusa. June Guyver says, let it grow, let it grow, let it grow. She's going for the mullet. Van Wyako going over to the YouTube channel. By the way, if you're on Instagram, head over to the YouTube channel. Fix This Build That Live. Much better experience. Euclid Homes misses MFP, but thanks us very much for the work. Thank you. Big Bruno G, what's up from Wisconsin? ¿Qué pasa, mi amigo? Es muy divertido en mi casa.
This is the segment where Brad speaks Spanish.
Horribly.
No.
Do I keep all the projects I make on my YouTube channel? Aaron, I do. I keep the vast majority of them. FVC Wood Shop from Panama. Loving watching the videos and have learned a lot. Thank you so much.
That's great.
I Can Build It 15. What's up? Merry Christmas to you as well. T. Lesh. How's it going? And all right, cool.
Caught up. All right. So Riley wants to know who edits your videos. Mm-hmm. Scott is awesome. And what he's on here right now. And what kind of computer do they use? A really good one.
Actually, Riley.
I don't know.
I have if you go to my website, actually, if you go to fixthisbuildthat.com/tools, go ahead and drop that in the chat for him.
What? Oh, sorry. I'm reading comments.
fixthisbuildthat.com/tools. You can get a link to the editing computer that I built. It's actually, that's my most recent computer. So it's the one I built, and I edited my own videos up until about March of this year.
Yeah.
And now Scott's been doing them, but he uses, his computer's way worse than mine actually. I think he uses like a 2013 iMac or something. So it probably takes him exceedingly longer than it takes me to edit videos as far as rendering and all that good stuff. But there are lots of great options out there that in different programs. So you can use DaVinci Resolve, which helps edit sometimes better depending upon if you're on like an AMD processor or an Intel. It's a lot of behind the scenes baseball kind of stuff, but you can edit with, if your computer is built in the last 3 years for sure, it's got definitely enough power. I mean, unless it's just like a total budget basement type deal, you should have enough power to do your own editing. It might just be slow doing certain tasks, like doing high speed or a bunch of transitions and things like that. Seton 61, most difficult wood that I've worked with, black palm by far. It's actually right here. This is what I made out of it. So I made this little bottle opener, and it is more of a it's more of a grass than it is a tree, and like bamboo, and so it's very splintery and strawy, and so it is very difficult to work with. But if you can work through it, it actually turns into pretty nice stuff. So black palm is it's kind of a cool wood. I probably won't be building anything else with it, but it was fun to do it with that one.
Mm-hmm. Rick says that MFP has helped him switch from a hobby to part-time business last year.
That's awesome,
Which is
Rick.
awesome.
Glad to hear that, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
What else we got over here? Let's see. What about
People are talking
woodcraft?
about more injuries.
Big Willie's Woodcraft did sponsor MFP in 2019, and then we weren't able to pick them back up in 2020. But it's even so even at, and it's not necessarily because of the sponsor. It's like a chicken and the egg type thing, because you have to have the listenership as far as like the number of downloads per week, and so that was a big part of it, is that the listenership, the downloads plateaued, and so we were getting 7,000 or 8,000 downloads a week on new episodes, and we were growing, got to that, and then we just kind of stayed there for about like 6 months. And so once you get past about 10,000 downloads per week, when I say per week, I mean just like the way they measure it typically is either in the first 7 days or the first 30 days of an episode. So if you have weekly episodes. We were getting about 50,000 downloads total, but that's like people listening to old stuff too. So they want to know how much they get on the new stuff. So we plateaued, and that was actually a big part of the backslide and the downfall, was that we stopped growing. And when you stop growing, and we never reached that tipping point. And much like a lot of you guys know, if you've tried to do something on the side hustle, like you're trying to sell even like woodworking, you're making a bunch of cutting boards, and you're kind of making money, and you're kind of like breaking even, and you're getting there. But it gets to the point where you're like, okay, this isn't necessarily worth it.
Right.
Unless you go to that next level, and we didn't make it to the next level. So we and at the same time we had other things pulling up in our own businesses that were exploding, and we hit 1 million subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
John has added 4 employees. He's hit huge numbers.
He's coming up on
500,000 on his channel. So lots and lots of growth. And so when you look at that, it's like, the amount of time and effort to put it in to get past that breaking point, it could be done, and we could have made it work, but it just takes a lot of effort. Just like the way that we've grown our own businesses, you got to do the same thing for a podcast.
I like what you were saying. Like, you have to kind of look at where the growth is and where the potential is, and all of that. And like, this is a struggle that we have all the time. It's like we only have so much time in the week,
Right.
And it just it goes so fast.
So it's like, so I was talking about the Samsung deal earlier. I made as much in the Samsung deal on doing an IG integration with them as I would make for the entire year for Made for Profit. So if that goes to show you the differential, that's that it's pretty easy to make that decision when that happens.
Well, and
it's just it's
right.
You just have to make decisions.
Well, and
priorities.
When you and John, I was reading comments, so you may have already touched on this, and you can stop me. But
Stop.
I knew he was going to do that. So. Anyway, but when you guys first had the idea for Made for Profit, you were both very, very excited, and still are, but like, it's out there now, about providing good information to other people that are wanting to turn their side hustle into, well, their hobby into a side hustle, and then hopefully their side hustle into like their full-time gig. And there just wasn't specific to woodworking. I'm sure there was information out there, but there wasn't information packaged in that format as like just as that. Yep. And so, you know,
that's
you
what
as,
it was.
yeah,
and so we did what we set out to do.
That's what I was going to say. Is like there's
right?
It's such a great resource, and we get people on here every week saying, "Oh, we love MFP," and that's awesome, and we love that you guys are getting so much value out of it. And the great thing, like you said, is that a lot of what's on there is still so true. You know, I mean, like Brad and John both have backgrounds in business. I mean, Brad has an MBA and John has a business degree and is a successful business, and they're both successful business owners. But so they have a lot of information to share, and there's a lot of people that do too. But
it's
a good place to start.
So there was nothing in that in our area.
Right.
We covered a lot of the basics, and that's so you know the slowing growth, the reduced money, and then also getting to the point where we were struggling to come up with topics. As far as like things that we hadn't already covered.
Right.
And so there's always ways to talk about social media. But anyway,
you want to be really super valuable every single time.
I'm going to lean in here and grab our Instagram, folks. What's up? Guys, we're going to sign off, but we're going to still go on YouTube for a little while now. So if you'd like to come join us over there, you can see the channel Fix This Build That live. It's our second channel. Come over and join us. We're going to be hanging out. And if not, Happy New Year. And
Happy New Year.
Get out there and build something awesome this week. See you guys.
Yep.
All right, cool.
All right.
So
it's just us. This almost didn't happen, but we got our Wi-Fi back.
I know. We were so close to.
We were like, how long is this going to take?
It just like the Wi-Fi came back on at 3 this afternoon, maybe.
And then we lost our power yesterday too. On top of everything else, the power was out for like 4 hours or something.
Stone Ages around here.
I know. We made it though. We survived.
That's good.
But yeah, so anyway, what were we talking about? We were talking about made for profit.
Made for profit.
Made for profit. But
Toby Foltz.
He was telling me about more injuries.
Shot made to get he's the finger shooter.
No, that's a different person.
Oh.
2 different people that have shot things in their fingers.
Oh my gosh. Call me Mac. What's up?
Yeah, Mac is here. What was this I saw? What is your opinion of the Delta contractor?
You know, Toby.
Toby,
let me tell you a story.
Yeah. Back in my day.
Honestly, though, and I need to remember the number. I want to say it was a 36650 was the dust collector I had, but it was like a 30s, whatever it was. I started off with a Delta contractor saw. And it was the one they sold at Lowe's. So it was like $500, and this was, back in 2002, 2003. They sold it at Lowe's. It was $500. I had a 20% off coupon for like
Of course you did.
I know.
Brad is always about a good deal.
I got into woodworking because I had a coupon. Is basically the
pretty
answer.
much. That sounds about right.
And so I got it for $400, and it was an awesome saw. Yeah. I used it for
that a long time, right?
Like a decade. I used it from about 2003 to longer than that because I bought the saw stop in 2015. It sat in the basement for a long time, not getting any use. But back then it was a great saw. And then they were sold, and then they went through that whole thing where, like, I love the old Delta look and feel. And it was very, like, industrial and kind of no nonsense. And a bit like what Jet and Powermatic, have been, is that, they've not tried to, like, get all the whiz-bang design. Like, Hitachi looks like Predator and Alien had a baby, and that's what they made their tools into. So like not a bunch of like swoops and crazy designs, and I think Delta fell into that. So when they redid the Unisaw with the 2 wheels on the front, I hated that. That was a long time ago, but and then they've just started making things try to look more slick, and I really don't like that. I would much rather I like my tools to be boxy and industrial and just work well. I don't want it to look like a spacecraft. And so, like the Delta Cruiser.
But did it work as well, or was it?
I don't know because I won't use them anymore.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Like you just don't like the look of it? So
I think it cheapens the tool. I mean, this is my personal opinion. Is that when I look at it, what I look at is like, you've spent more time on the design and the way it looks, or at least more time. I think that time would be spent better on the engineering or reliability or features of it versus how to make it look. And so anyway, when they went through that whole thing, and so now they've kind of got the curvy stuff, and the Delta Cruiser, I think, is just not an attractive saw.
Is that the huge one?
Yeah, they work amazing, but I don't know. So Delta's kind of in that. I'm like, guys, I just wish they would focus a bit more on like performance and the industrialness, and not like try to make it look cool. Like make it work awesome, and then nobody cares what it looks like.
Okay. That's true.
Make it be like the most. I mean, I get it. I mean, I understand the visual aspect. Like if somebody sees it in the shop, it's like, oh my gosh, what's that? But yeah, so used to be awesome. I don't have any experience with them other than my visual experience, so I can't comment to what they're doing now. But I do know, 15 years ago they were great.
All right, so get an old one.
So there you go. Yeah, absolutely, 100%.
Yep.
I would not hesitate to buy a contractor's saw off of eBay or Craigslist or Marketplace with a cast iron top. I would not hesitate for a minute. I mean, barring that it is not completely rusted out.
Right. All right, Katie has a question. I have entry-level tools, miter saw, job site saw, and plethora of Ryobi battery-powered tools. If I were going to upgrade a tool, which one would you suggest for a small space?
I think it depends on what you're making, Katie, really, because what I always tell people is upgrade to give yourself better capacity or better reliability, or to fix the thing that really pisses you off every time you use it. So if it's on your table saw, and being a job site saw, I know those are very small. And so if you're like, man, I hate this job site saw because the fence never stays square, and like it flexes, it does whatever, I don't have enough in-feed, out-feed. Like if that's something that causes you heartburn and like actually having to work around it, or you can't use a good table saw sled because of the way the runners are set up, or whatever it is, or you can't cut through 2-inch maple because you don't have enough power and you have to use a thin curved blade, like all these things. And I'm throwing those out there because I know that those are drawbacks of a job site table saw, is a benchtop saw. If you buy, then you can upgrade and make all those go away. So that's where I try to do it, is like buy tools that are going to either let you do something new you can't already do, or let you do something faster that you do now, more efficient, or just be, not such a pain in the butt, which typically will go back to making it faster and more efficient. So that's the way I like to do it, Katie, is like look at that tool that you think is holding you back the most. And it's going to be different for everybody. So it might be a miter saw. Like if your miter saw, and I don't know which miter saw you have or which table saw you have, and if you've got a bunch of run out in either of those, or again, the features are just like every time you use it, you're just like cussing it, that's the one you need to replace first. And then, from there you can go into, and if they're fine, so let me kind of go that. So if they're fine, I know a lot of people that do work on job site saws or an inexpensive miter saw. Maybe the next thing you add is a planer, and allows you to start working with rough lumber, and allows you to start working with more exotic woods, or not exotic like foreign, but actually like walnut or cherry, and not having to buy S4S, and it'll save you money. So that's kind of the thought process that I always tell people, because I'm past that, but that's the thought process I used on my own. And then like when I upgraded from a 6-inch to an 8-inch joiner, there's a huge pain point that like in my area, there were always boards available at like 7 inches or 8 inches. Like it just seemed, whenever I went to buy lumber, it was always like 6.5 or 7, and I couldn't join it. And so I was like, yeah, this extra 2 inches on the joiner is worth it for me.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yep.
I've just been reading comments.
I know, you're just in there reading comments.
Yep. Get it. So yeah, it sounds like Katie's good. But
Andrew says, Brad doesn't care if the tool is ugly, but if the plywood doors are different colors, he stresses over it.
I mean, I told him, I said, you have a good point. And I was thinking, I think that's true
completely different
to
in
an
my
extent.
because
But
here's the thing.
listen, no. I think that if the tool was really ugly, but you knew it was going to work really well, that would still bother you.
The
to
direction,
some degree.
But at the same point, so the direction I was going with that is because I was saying that these tools, like making them look cool, to me makes them look ugly, and like to me, boxy, I was kind of calling that ugly.
So what if it was a space agey tool in appearance, but it worked great? But it looked like it was going to take flight at any moment.
I would really struggle to have that in my shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if it was like the best one you could get.
In all honesty, like I've only heard good things about the Cruiser,
about
the Delta Cruiser.
Somebody else said they have the original Delta Cruiser and they love it. Best one they've ever.
Yeah.
Whatever,
so I've not. The only bad things I've heard about the Cruiser are the size of it because it is huge.
Which is like part of the point, right?
Right. But they have their own little mechanism and everything, so it's a slider that doesn't go back, so you can put it up against the wall.
Very nice.
So, it could be amazing, but unless it's like the de facto best miter saw ever, I'm not gonna have it.
That is the beauty of life and tools in this case, is that there are so many different options out there, and you can get what works for you, and what works for you might be completely different than what works for Brad.
There's a finger for every nose.
Oh my gosh. Oh, jeez.
Hey, Beth, Merry Christmas to you. That's
Hey, Beth.
Rick's been holding it down for you, so it's okay. Jimmy St. James, the Metabo slider. Yeah, Metabo makes some nice tools from what I've heard and seen. I don't know what the deal is with the whole dado stack thing being illegal in the EU. That's totally weird. I've heard of that a few times.
Riley wants to know anything about, like, what do you know about grizzly tools?
Brian.
How are they?
I'll answer Brian's question here real quick.
Okay, go for it.
Brian, how fast can the sunlight darken cherry? Like, you can measure it in hours, not days, would be my answer.
What is the river table made out of?
Cherry.
Okay, it's dark now.
So if you wanted to sun your cherry, you
in your dining room.
put it outside. I mean, I would keep it off the ground, but just so it doesn't get moisture and whatever. But if you put it outside, like on a sunny day, you could put it out there for like 3 hours and see a significant change.
That's crazy.
I mean, especially when it's new.
Well,
so
I've
like when it's freshly
that,
cut.
I mean, that river table was years ago, like 2-3 years ago that you made that. And it's in our dining room, and like that gets
so dark now.
It is. It gets morning light. It doesn't get any direct sunlight though. The sun is never actually hitting it because of where it is in the room.
But it
does get morning sunlight. But it is it's still beautiful.
Extremely dark.
So much darker than it used to be.
Than it used to.
Yeah, I'm just used to the way it was when you made it. So every once in a while when I'm sitting at the dining room table and I look over at it, I'm like, oh my gosh,
even
it's
watch
so
the
dark.
because I was grabbing some stuff. Hold on, let me grab something. Where was that board?
What are you looking for? He's going over to the rackety rack. The rackety rack. Oh gosh. I like this. Nailbender said, the best tool you will ever buy is the one you can use safely. That is what I'm talking about. He said, sun your cherry. Sun your cherry sounds like we're talking about sunning, like sunning back in the day. Yeah. I have brown hair, obviously, so I never sun into anything because that wouldn't have done jack squat, but that's all right. Brian says he just oiled some cherry charcuterie boards and wish they were darker. Well, he just oiled them, honey. Can you just stick them outside or what?
Yeah.
Yeah, stick them outside, Brad says.
Yeah,
like, don't let them get wet.
Well, I had when I was emptying out the thing over there, there was a board, and it actually changed from the UV light, from the artificial light. So even in a shop, your interior lights will change the cherry. So it's not just sunlight. It's any UV light, I guess, is the thing that changes it. Because I had a piece that I was like pulling out, and there was another piece that was sitting on top of the cherry. And when I pulled it out, like you could clearly see where it was darker in one spot than where it was covered. And so it will, unless the oil is UV protectant, which most will not be. I mean, I don't think mineral oil would be. You could just toss it outside, and I mean, it's definitely not going to hurt anything.
Now, did you say? Let's see. Nailbender says sunning your cherry makes it that dark red that not everybody loves about cherry, but it's going to get there eventually anyway, right? Like it's not like
unless
sunning
you use
it.
a UV protectant. I mean, it might take a lot longer, but yes, it will. It's gonna. That's the way that cherry ages. Cherry ages dark. Yes.
So Riley,
Michael's
I believe
battery's at 6%.
I know. He doesn't want to get up. I feel you, Michael. Like how many times? I feel like we've been watching lots of movies lately, and like laying on the couch is just you don't want to get up.
Blake loves sunning his cherries.
Oh my gosh.
So the only way to go. We had a cherry tree.
Blake, you know your audience well, Blake.
We had a cherry tree in the old house.
We chopped it down. We were like George Washington, didn't we?
No. That was in my mom's yard.
Front? Or was that an apple tree?
That was an apple tree.
We had an apple tree, which we did not know anything about apple trees at the time, but it was overgrown. Like they grow. Whatever.
We had two of them. It was just like.
So we had to cut them way back. We didn't chop it down. We cut it way back though.
You're right.
This is not compelling information for anyone else.
But then we had that other one that was like the green apples that was like by the road, and that thing was just.
That was what I was talking about.
No, we didn't cut that one down.
No, we trimmed it back.
But we cut the big one was also an apple tree, I think.
I don't remember the big one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Anyway.
And we had a cherry tree in the back, and that one. It only had cherries. Like I think the time we moved in, and the birds.
Oh, the dude
we saw them one day.
Oh yes! Oh my gosh, those birds.
We saw we're like, oh
they
my gosh,
were
we had this cherry
ridiculous.
tree, and it was like a little guy, and it had cherries, and then we were so happy about it, and then like the next day, gone.
These birds
just totally
had been waiting, watching. The lady next door had like 8 bird feeders too, so there were always birds everywhere anyway. But they were all just biding their time, watching, waiting. And then the moment those cherries were ripe, they swooped down while we were at work.
Literally.
We got home and nothing. I was so disappointed.
Get a single cherry out of it.
That man was like, "Oh, we have all these fruit trees. You'll have fruit for days," and like we never really.
No. And the apples were like hideous.
We just bought them at Kroger. It was all good. Anyway.
What was the question about Grizzly?
I don't. Oh yeah. So I think it was Riley wants to know about Grizzly tools, and people are telling him some things.
Yeah, Grizzly.
Somebody wants to know about Grizzly.
Grizzly's hit or miss, in my opinion.
Yeah.
For a long time, and I don't know if they're still exactly that way, but they were like a. I want to.
Yeah.
I won't say that, but they were on the lower end. They were the lower tier of like the mid-tier machines, if you will, because they were like direct. So they did a lot of like direct to consumer, and they don't sell Grizzly in like Woodcraft or Rockler or anything like that. And so it was all direct to consumer, and so it was a lot cheaper. And then they weren't quite as, the fit and finish just wasn't quite as nice. But that being said, I remember like when I was searching for table saws, like the Grizzly 1023, I remember that one. That was like their cabinet saw. That was like always kind of a perennial powerhouse. Like when you went and looked, I always loved watching the table saw reviews. And so I'd look at those, and it was always like best value. So, and I think they're kind of still in that same pocket where it's like cheap, capable, but maybe the fit and finish.
Not like the bells and whistles.
The bells and whistles probably like if you stacked up a Jet tool to a Grizzly tool, the Jet's going to come out on top on fit and finish most of the times, I believe, depending upon the tool. So I'm sure there are instances where that could be different. But for me, that kind of mid-tier right now would be like Jet, Laguna. Gosh, there's not that many, honestly. What am I trying to think of the other? There's just not that many. The upper tier is going to be, SawStop, Powermatic, and then like Grizzly would be with Jet and Laguna, but I think on the lower end of that. And then, there's not that many people out there that make table saws anymore. You get a lot of those like off names. They're not off names; they're just much smaller. Like the, I'm saying not Towncraft, not Kincraft, Yorkcraft. I don't even know if they still make them anymore, Yorkcraft. But there's a few there that are making saws that you just don't like really see a lot, and you're like, oh, who is that? And then you've also like Rigid makes a table saw. I don't even know if they still make that one, but that one like performs well, but it's definitely on the lower end because they don't make a cabinet saw. You got Delta, so I would kind of put Delta in Rigid and Porter Cable, Makita, all in that same kind of lower end. So I would put Grizzly a bit above them because they're offerings, because they offer a lot more industrial size. That is the great thing about Grizzly though. Their catalog is huge, and they make huge machines. So like they make 3, 5 horsepower, 7, 10. Like they do make some really, and I'm sure there's tons of really nice machines. But you're always going to get a little bit less fit and finish from my experience.
All right.
But it's also been a decade since I've owned a Grizzly machine too.
Neil Bender says Powermatic is nice, but so ugly.
yeah, the mustard yellow
It's a
Powermatic.
distinctive color. I guess that's the idea, is
The
that
gold
you would
standard.
see it and know, like, I know what that tool is. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's Steelix joiner. Yeah, exactly. Average Craftsman. Steelix. What is that one? Rikon. So Rikon is right there in that kind of. Rikon's a weird one because they just haven't grown very much. I had a couple of Rikon tools. They were great, but they're in that same category, I think, as Jet and Grizzly, kind of that lower. I think Rikon and Grizzly are probably very comparable. Mm-hmm. Who's the other one? I'm trying to remember. I like Supermax, but I think they sold to Laguna. So there's been so much consolidation in the woodworking tool space that
it's not great, right?
No, it's not great because
for competition.
Right, because you don't get as much competition or expansion because you're not trying to outdo the other people. So more competition is always good for the consumer.
Yes.
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 And there we are, 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
Have the rigid table saw.
10:01.
Does it good for $4.50. Yeah, Dennis, it's not bad. I assume by Scott's question that the Packers won, which is fine.
Scott.
It's fine.
We're not bitter. We're just disappointed.
A cotton-headed ninny muggin for laughing at her falling asleep on the couch. Cotton-headed ninny muggins. Elf is one of the greatest Christmas movies.
It is
for
really
sure.
good.
So we have definitely watched that already.
Both look like urine.
Yeah. So anyway, for all you Packers fans, go suck an egg. No.
I mean, I can't be too
I like
sad.
the Packers. I'm okay with the Packers.
Like I said before, like my grandparents were huge Packers fans.
I've always been from
Wisconsin.
Ever since, I just love, and when I grew up in the Brett Favre era, so when I started watching football, Brett Favre was just coming on the scene, and so I watched his whole career, and man, what a competitor! That dude, he was just. I love watching him play football, and so
it's not over yet.
Oh, it's not
Haven't
over
won
yet.
yet.
Yeah, whatever.
It's probably finished. All but over.
Yes. So I haven't been a Packers fan, but I've respected the Packers ever since watching Brett Favre, and then same thing with Aaron Rodgers. Man,
they're very likable people.
The Packers. What a great legacy of quarterbacks they've had.
Yeah.
I mean, you go from Brett Favre. I don't know how long Brett Favre started, but it was 20 years probably, something crazy. And then Aaron Rodgers, then you go straight from that to Aaron Rodgers. Are you kidding me?
It's ridiculous.
The number of quarterbacks that almost every other team has had in that time frame.
And we were in Cincinnati for so long, so we were
Bengals
fans, and it was just so sad.
Yeah. And so the Titans have probably had 10 quarterbacks since then. In between those two guys. So I like the Packers.
Y'all can bow to the Chiefs.
Okay.
The Chiefs are good.
Yeah, the Chiefs.
Did they win last year, or was that the year before?
I think they won last year.
I'm sure. Who is this?
Yeah, I think the Chiefs won last year.
The average craftsman can let us know.
Yeah.
I remember, I think that was last year, that I was like, maybe we have a shot.
And
then we saw the Chiefs, and I was like, never mind.
There's a lot of teams, there's a lot of, I love, there's a lot of likable quarterbacks out there. Drew Brees, another. I love watching him play. He's such a competitor.
Still with the Saints?
And he's just a good dude in general.
Yeah.
He's quarterbacking for the Saints.
He's been there for a long time.
He has. So anyway. Yeah, but it's also been kind of cool to see Tom Brady taking the Bucs to the playoffs. How about that? That's kind of, nobody saw that coming. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, okay, so Brian says the Steelers are AFC North champs. They looked almost normal again today. So am I right?
Steve McNair,
The Bengals beat the Steelers? Mm-hmm. The Bengals are unpredictable. And I lived in Cincinnati. Too. I know. But they beat, did they beat the Colts? They beat somebody else that I was like, what?
Yeah, they're whatever.
Unpredictable.
You're the lookover team,
they're
you're looking over them to the next game.
Well,
and
but that's kind of crazy.
Because they got nothing to lose.
That's true.
Except for games.
But still.
All right. No, we're gonna rock and roll. We have internet back now, so we didn't get to do any streaming the past couple of nights. So I think we'll probably go watch a Queen's Gambit or something.
We're into
maybe
the
even
Queen's
a movie.
Gambit.
But I hope you guys had a Merry Christmas,
Yeah.
and I hope you have a safe and happy New Year. And we will see you guys next Sunday. And
Absolutely.
you know,
In 2021.
In 2021.
We'll see you next year.
Yeah, FTBT, moving forward, moving strong. We are super excited for this year, how it went, and excited for what this next year has for us. No signs of slowing down. We are going full force forward, and we're just glad that you're here to come on the ride with us. So you guys have a great week, and we'll catch you next Sunday.
Good night.
See ya.
Bye.